Welcome everybody to another episode of Biryani Football Podcast. My name is Raj. This is my co-host, my dad. And this is a very fun week of football, and a lot of things that we didn't expect happening, and a lot of things that we expected to happen, but not as bad as they did happen. So
Right.
I'm really excited to share all of that with you and more. This episode, we got a lot stored for you, and especially since we're past the mid-season now, so we're really excited with everything we have, and yeah, let's get right into it.
Yeah, welcome. Thanks, Raj, once again for that awesome welcome. Uh, Welcome you all viewers. Without you guys, the podcast will not be clicking or running. What a week, right? We keep on saying this every week. Maybe we just love football so much. I'm not sure, but this week was no exception. I mean, there were some amazing games. There were some lopsided games as well. But for the most part, there are some really good games that we picked and choose that we want to go over. Maybe we will be biased about some games, what we pick. You'll notice that. And we'll also end this episode with our mid-season awards. I mean, we'll probably go through the leaders across the quarterbacks and the AFC and NFC teams, defense teams wise, and also running backs and wide receivers. And who do we think, is on the bubble? And we'll also talk about the coaches and, who we think, is on the bubble, or if they're like really like for real, that they can go, deep into the postseason. We'll talk about that. So, but welcome. And Vera, so what you got? What games did you pick to talk about?
Yeah, so first I want to go over the Patriots and Buccaneers game. It was a very highly touted game coming into this week. Two teams that honestly we were not expecting to be as good as they are this year, and I'm really happy that they are. Especially with the Patriots, they're coming off maybe one of their worst seasons in this entire century, and the way that they bounced back this year is just insane. And Mike Vrabel, their head coach, is doing such a great job, and I'm really happy to see them shine. The Patriots won 2023, as I'm sure most of you know. But even with an interception by Drake May, the fact that they still managed to, this completely manhandled Buccaneers is very impressive on their part. I mean, Travion Henderson, the rookie, he is playing lights out and amazing this year, rushing for 69 yard and 59-yard touchdown respectively, and then running for 60 more yards on top of that.
That was highlight.
So he is a very great running back, and I'm really excited to see him this year. A lot of people were excited, seeing like what he's gonna bring this year. He wasn't drafted like that high, but he was. People knew that he was gonna be something fun to watch, and he is. Exactly that. He is a highly fun player to watch. I'm really excited to see how he progresses in this league, and I'm looking forward to it. And you know, the Patriots are opposing themselves to become perennial contenders with Drake May and Travion Henderson, two young talents that are really bringing their team together. Drake May, throwing that 72-yard dime to Kyle Williams. It was a beautiful throw and a beautiful catch too, and it was just all in all a great game for the Patriots. But unfortunately, the Bucs, I can't really say the same about them. They had everything. They had everything they needed to. They had all the first downs, they had the time of possession, everything, but they just couldn't come away with points. They just weren't able to score points, going 0-3 on fourth downs, ending like a lot of their drives, and so they just need to be able to finish off their drives properly and even be able to just get to that red zone in the first place. It's very disappointing watching them, fall so hard. They were first seed only a couple weeks ago, and now they're fighting to stay alive in the playoff race, and stay on top of their division. So I'm really hoping that they're able to turn it around. I know Todd Bowles is going to be able to bring this team around. I'm trusting in him, and I believe that he's able to do it. But right now, it's not looking good for the Buccaneers, and they haven't been able to win some of these big games. It's really important for them. Like, for example, the Eagles and this week, and so many weeks.
I thought Detroit is playing this week.
No, they beat the Eagles already.
Oh, okay.
And yeah, so the Buccaneers, they really need to, get their act together and play well.
Yeah. Well, my only thing is Drake May is for real. I think, we have enough sample size to go over. It's not a fluke, at least for this season. I mean, sometimes we see that quarterbacks start off hot for a season, and then after that, they just can have a like almost like a sophomore slump. Well, but I think for this season, we can say Drake May is for real. He's playing unbelievably well. And the Bills, are number two right now in the AFC East, which hasn't happened in a long, long time. So, I think it's going to be very interesting to see how the Pats finish the season. Number one, and how does Drake May progresses towards the postseason. I think it's a lock now. I mean, nothing is locked, but what we're saying is like there's a strong possibility of the Patriots, making into the postseason. So we have to see, like, how they play and how Drake May, really reacts to being that in that pressure. But yeah, Bucks I did not expect it. I thought it's going to be a close fout game. Deservedly, Pats pulled one off. What's the next game, Viraj?
Yeah, so next I want to go over the Bears versus Giants game. The game that, originally I was like, oh, wow, the Giants are going to have a pretty good upset here. And then, they just managed to throw it away. Not only blowing away their lead, but blowing away Brian Dable's coaching position. Unfortunately, it's unfortunate, but he kind of had it coming. He blew away so many major games, like against the Broncos and then against the Cowboys and then now against the Bears. Just so many times where he just should have finished off that game, and now the Giants are sitting at 2-7 right now. So it's
2-8.
Yeah, very disappointing. Watching them throw away this season when originally we thought that they might have a good chance to make the playoffs, even having beaten the Eagles, in a stunning fashion. And with Cam Scatterboo and Jackson Dart now injured, it's looking like they're probably not. They're probably gonna get the first pick. They have a good chance of getting the first pick this year. So, I don't know. It's not looking good for them, and they really need to get their act together next year. I'm wondering who they're gonna get for their head coach. There's so many candidates from colleges, like maybe Marcus Freeman, Ryan Day, other people, and yeah, I'm really excited for next year, hopefully. But this year, it might be over for them. And talking about the Bears, they played pretty disappointing up until the last 3 minutes of the game where they had that 10-point comeback. So it was good watching them play, even though the Giants had a 96% chance of winning and still managed to blow the game. It was very disappointing. But Romo Dunze, though, was really the star of the show. Receiving for 100, almost 120 yards and touchdown, which ultimately helped the Bears win the game. And really happy to see a player like him a week ago was complaining that wasn't getting the ball enough, and now hopefully satisfied with not he's getting the ball, and maybe Caleb Williams realized that he has to start feeding his receivers a little bit better. Caleb Williams, he's not like blowing anyone away with his incredible athleticism, but he's managing to, rally his team to win games, and that's ultimately what matters the most, I think he still has a lot to improve on, but he has improved on getting sacks, and last year he was one of the most sacked quarterbacks. This year is one of the least sacked quarterbacks, so I think that overall he's doing a good job being able to, and the Ben Johnson's doing a good job being able to protect this quarterback with like major signings like Joe Tooney as a center from the Chiefs. So I'm really happy with the way that the Bears are going, and who knows, they might even have a chance to win one of the hardest divisions in the NFC North this year.
Right. My only two things that I want to share is like I felt really bad for Brian Dable. I just have I feel like he's a really good coach. I mean, look what he did with the Bills, right? And I just feel like he's a really good coach on the Giants staff. So for him to go, it's kind of sad because everybody else, they're supporting cast, right? And I do believe he was very instrumental in Jackson Dart's development as a good quarterback, and I think they should have at least given him the entire season. I mean, it's only 6 more games. It's not like they're losing a division or anything like that. They're not even in contention right now anymore. So I believe Giants screwed it up, but with that decision, they should have just let him be until the season ends, just to see, where how the season goes and how Jackson Dart progresses. On the flip side, he did blew up some winnable games. I mean, nobody expected they're going to lose to the Broncos, and nobody expected they're going to lose to the Bears. Here we are, and that's what really gets you fired. Unfortunately, in this super competitive league. So yeah, I mean, Bears, right? I did not expect that. I mean, obviously Ben Johnson, he has a really strong resume of being an offensive coach, and I think Caleb Williams is really flourishing under his tutelage, if you will. But I did not expect NFC North to be three teams kind of a division. I always thought it's going to be like between Detroit and Packers. I mean, Lions and Packers. But because as soon as the Vikings, they lost the quarterback for a while and all. But I did not expect Bears to be in the mix. So it's going to be competitive. I do agree, it's going to be a competitive division. So I'm going to share a couple of games from my side. 10, obviously delivered low-scoring defensive wins. A historic OT thriller in Berlin. And a handful of primetime statement games that reshaped the playoff picture. Two games I want to definitely pick is Steelers and Chargers, and Packers and Eagles. My sincere request to the NFL: do not play Steelers in primetime. Just don't. It's horrible to watch them, and not just as a Steelers fan, but I just don't think you're giving up a good product for your viewers who might be watching. Okay, let's watch football in the prime time. It's not great. The Chargers has kind of blew Steelers away. I just feel like Aaron Rodgers was not himself. I don't know, maybe he's drinking his own, whatever he drinks or whatever, but it just felt like every time there was a close-up shot of him, he was just cursing at his players. And he was like, just his throws were off. He was not thinking straight. Very opposite to how we are kind of seeing his praises a few weeks ago, right? It's just very unfortunate. He has a sack fumble in the end zone, which led to the safety, and it flipped the momentum. And just after that, just Chargers took over. Justin, how about to add McConkey 58-yard strike that set up the late TD and essentially sealed the game, basically. I mean, the Chargers defensive stand on third down. I mean, Pittsburgh only had 2 for 11 on third down, and that's a crazy pressure and sacks that made Rodgers uncomfortable. And Vidal, my gosh, that guy almost had 100 yards. And Cameron Nichols multiple long field goals, in which our guy Boswell actually missed a field goal, which is very unbelievable. And I think the special team scoring, safety, and long field goals, I think that might be the difference, along with Herbert really thinking out amazingly and making the plays where he had to make. And he had a superstar cast of people. He was throwing to people, and his tight end and his wide receivers and his running back and surprisingly, his O-line also kept pretty intact. So I don't know what else to say about Steelers. I mean, we're going to see Mr. Flacco, Uncle Flacco again this week, but it's in Pittsburgh this time, right? Or is it? It's in Pittsburgh. But I don't really have any high hopes anymore. I just want to see Will Howard at this point. I'm done with the Rodgers show. I don't think. I mean, they're catching fire right now. They're catching fire, and they're like blazing right now. So I don't think we're going to keep up with them because we still have 2 games with the Ravens. Anyhow, any other thoughts from you, Viraj, about that game?
Yeah, I think it wasn't all on Aaron Rodgers. I think it was a whole Steelers team as well.
Oh yeah, good point.
There's a miscue by Calvin Austin where he dropped the ball and it led to an interception. There's another part where the punt returner fumbled the ball and that ended up leading to a Chargers touchdown. And so there's so many points where the Steelers just all over the offense. They just didn't play the way they should have. Defensively they played all right. I mean, they got 5 sacks, which is good on them. Carrying over from that win against the Colts. I feel like they should have been able to pressure the Chargers' offensive line more, especially considering the amount of, banged up people that are on the O-line. So the fact that the Steelers weren't able to do as much which shows how good Justin Herbert is, but also shows a lot of weaknesses on the Steelers defense. They're still ranked 30th in the league or something. So they're not playing good right now. There's a lot to improve on. And looking forward in their schedule, they're playing the Bears, the Ravens twice. They're playing the Bills and the Lions. They're one of the hardest schedules left in the season, where most teams are above 500. So they need to find a way to start winning games. I think that Colts game, it's not going to happen every game when they get 6 turnovers. So
and barely win.
They can't just get lucky every single time.
Right. Yeah. No, absolutely. And the next game I want to go into quickly is Eagles at Packers. Oh, my goodness. Eagles' defensive front was all over the place. They were all over the field. They made Jordan Love look like, he's nothing. And especially Jalen Carter. I mean, you could feel his presence in every single play. His batting passes, he was making his life uncomfortable. And the new guy, Jalen Phillips, we talked about this last week from Dolphins. I mean, he was really good. And it disrupted, Green Bay, and he created short fields and produced a lone touchdown. For the Eagles, and that was really good. There are a couple of things that I want to quickly highlight. Obviously, you guys know the score 10-7, so it was like a very. I mean, there was like 0-0 for most of the game. I mean, the Packers, pretty kept very very good. Pace with the Eagles' offense, but they just could not tie. I mean, still it was like only 10-7 game, but it was really, really good. Two things I really want to highlight from my side is Saquon Barkley. I mean, the spin move. I don't know if you guys saw that or not. That was an amazing spin move from him. And secondly, the catch that Devonta Smith caught for the touchdown because of the Barkley's run, that was amazing. The contested catch, it was really really good. And I just felt like the wide receivers were not on the same page with Jordan Love. And doesn't matter, the coach, the Packers coach, he was so good, but he could not keep up with what they have to offer from a defense. I mean, they were just mixing things up. And Nick Sirianni, man, that guy was bringing in the pressure again and again and again. Defensive coach Vic Fangio, who already worked for Jalen Phillips, back in Dolphins. They knew exactly how to prepare for this game, and they were on it. They did not give them any chance. Even like the one score they had, it was because of that defensive pass interference that they actually had, and that actually kind of gave them a short field to get that. Touchdown with Aaron Jacoby Jones. It was good. It was really good. And Yeah, I mean those are the games from the last week. Now, let's quickly go into what we think are the mid-season leaders. We're not going to look at the stats. We're just going to go off the cliff without thinking. We didn't prepare for this segment. Virat, so who's your Super Bowl AFC NFC right now?
I would probably say my AFC favorite. I would you
You're
statistically
thinking. Don't think. Just
I would say the Colts, but the fact is that they have Daniel Jones, and I don't really trust him. I don't trust their
the
team.
postseason, yeah.
I don't trust their team enough to win the Super Bowl. Like on paper, they should be able to win it. They have everything they need. They have Jonathan Taylor. They have Daniel Jones playing amazing, but there's just something about them that I don't trust. So I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna say
Thinking.
I'm gonna say the Broncos. Not Broncos. Patriots. Sorry. Patriots are my favorite to go to Super Bowl from the AFC.
And NFC?
Let's see how I'll have to go Eagles.
I'm thinking Rams and Patriots. So we have Patriots in common. So let's see. We'll revisit this episode right after. I mean, I'm a big Stafford fan. I mean, yesterday I was watching a game and he was putting up a show. My gosh. Obviously, 49ers defense is depleted. I mean, some of the superstars were not playing, but it's a treat to watch him. It's a joy. It's pure quarterbacking. I mean, one of the two touchdown passes. One running out of the bounds and he threw towards the end zone. That's one, and the second one is towards for his tight end, like the no look pass. Oh my goodness, it fooled everyone. Nobody saw that coming. So I'm a big Stafford fan. I know he played for other than Steelers teams, but have been watching him for a long time, and he's still playing at a super high level. So McVay, he has been there, done that, and Mike Rabel on the AFC side. We're going to talk more about him, but I think between those two, that's going to be my pick for Super Bowl. But anything can happen, right? I mean, postseason, it's just one game, and that can change everybody's fortune. So, all right. So, coach of the year. So far.
Mike Vrabel. I have to say Mike Vrabel. The way that he turned that Patriots team around was very impressive.
Yeah.
I bet the Titans are rolling in their grave right now, wishing that they hadn't fired him. But the way that he's brought this Patriots team from a losing season last year, they played okay last year, but it was not that good last year. And Trent Drake May from, maybe he wasn't looking as good as a rookie last year to, wow, he might be MVP this year.
Yeah. Unanimous. Mike Vrabel. I mean, I'm a big fan of him. We always speak of him super highly. Not only just from the Titans, but the way he carries himself. I mean, can see him he's a man's man kind of a coach, and everybody, you can see he gets everybody's attention. And to turn, like Virat said, to turn around a team like Patriots just like that, and to actually put them above Bills, who were everybody thought they're Super Bowl a favorite starting off. I mean, they might still win. You never know because they have Josh Allen, obviously. But to like take Drake May and some of the supporting cast like nobody knew other than Stephon Diggs, who's obviously on the other end of his career, but still having like a really good defense and offense and helping them click. I do want to mention like Sean Payton, who's doing an amazing job with the Broncos, and also Cole's what's his name, Viraj? Cole's coach.
Stain Seiken.
Yeah, Shane Steichen, he's also pretty good, but I think we are unanimous on the coach of the year as well. Offensive player of the year without looking at the stats.
Jonathan Taylor, probably offensive player of the year. I would say MVP, but MVP is running for quarterbacks, and I don't think he's gonna win it. But he's definitely, yeah, he's guaranteed offensive player of the year. He already has well over 1,000 yards. Yeah, I think almost 1,200 yards this year. He has a good chance to break 2,000 yards, maybe even beat the record. There's a chance there. It's really exciting watching him play every single game. And despite only having like 56 yards in that game against the Steelers, that still has over 1,000 is just insane. And I'm excited for his career. I think he has a very good future ahead of him.
I'm gonna go with the wide receiver of Seahawks and Jigba. I mean, that guy. He was on my fantasy last year, so I was closely following him, even though I'm not a big fan of Seahawks. But this year, so I know him a little bit from last year. But he was kind of playing under the shadow of Metcalf. But now he came out on his own and is playing unbelievable. So I know he leads in the wide receivers and the yards and all that. He's playing great. So he is my offensive player, especially like him being a key part of that Seahawks. Everybody wrote off Seahawks because first time coach McDonald, and we don't know how Sam Darnold is going to look like in the new system. And everybody kind of talked about like Rams and Cardinals and Niners being in the NFC North. I mean NFC West. Sorry, but Seahawks coming out of nowhere, and I think Njigba had a really good part in being there.
MVP, I have to say, Drake May, probably MVP. He has a really good chance at winning it this year. The way that he's been pretty much putting this Patriots team on his back and carrying them to 8-2. It's very exciting watching him play every single game. And he places the ball so perfectly in the receiver's hands and is able to also scramble so well. So
yeah, my MVP is Stafford. 21 touchdowns as of last week, and he's playing at a high level. I mean, like basics. I was talking to Viraj yesterday. Some of his throws, somebody's blitzing and he throws right across them. That's quarterbacking 1-on-1, and people are frazzled and they don't think when people are coming at him. This big body dudes coming at him to crush him, and he throws right across them to for a big yardage. And his no look passes, like I was just saying, and it's down the field throws to Nakua and all those guys. I mean, he is unbelievable. I think he's playing at a super high level, even at his having so many seasons under his belt. That's my MVP, and especially if he goes all the way, I think it's a shoe in for MVP. Best defense.
Best defensive player of the year.
No, just the defense from a team's
best
perspective.
Defense. Probably Broncos. Broncos have the best defense this year.
I think the Houston defense, the Texans defense.
Texans defense is probably my second best.
Yeah, they're playing pretty good. But I agree. I mean, there were some surprising teams that kind of really stood out to me. Chargers defense is pretty good. Colts defense is pretty good. But Houston Texans for me, is a standout. I mean, obviously the DeMeco Ryans is a defensive coach and he's doing a fantastic job in really preparing his team and really rallying his troops for an amazing defensive showdown. One game that really surprised you, Viraj?
Really surprised.
Midseason, yeah.
This year.
This season, I mean, until now.
Yeah, probably I would say the Bills-Ravens game, and that I think it was week 1 or week 2. Yeah. 16 points in 8 minutes. You might not ever see it again. It was just a beautiful performance by Josh Allen and a surprising performance by the Ravens too, Lamar Jackson.
Yeah. For me, it has to be the Broncos and Giants game. I mean, nobody the stats, right? They were 98 or something crazy percentage of winning percentage at certain point, and they rallied back and they won. I think that was a really good one. Most shocking performance of a player I've seen so far.
I might say Sam Darnold. Sam Darnold.
Okay.
I
I mean, like in a disappointing way, though. Yeah.
in a disappointing way. Most shocking performance in a disappointing way. Probably Geno Smith.
Really?
You know, I
You had high
was
expectations of him?
I didn't have like high expectations, but you know, I thought he would be better with Pete Carroll as his head coach. I thought he would be better than what do you call it, Aiden O'Connell and
Yeah.
Jimmy Garoppolo and all those guys, those former Raiders quarterback like Derek Carr, and you know he really let me down this year. He's been playing horrible, just horrible this year, missing throws, throwing interceptions. I think he has more interceptions than he has touchdowns. So very disappointed.
Yeah, for me, I might sound like a homer, but DK Metcalf. Everybody are like, oh yeah, he's a big wide receiver the Steelers have been looking for a long time. Big guy, fast runner, and all that. But oh my gosh, he has been no show for most of the games. Doesn't know how to do contested catches. Anybody can rip off his hands. Doesn't catch the ball well. I mean, you know, all he does. I mean, he does like, you know, catch off the run after catch, run after catch. When nobody's there, I guess, around him. But I've been very disappointed. You know, not every game, but most of the games where I think, like, you know, Rogers started looking outside of him, like, you know, Kelvin Austin, other guys. But yeah, I was very disappointed. Uh, who really surprised you in a good way? I guess Sam Darnold then?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, Sam Darnold. I think for me, I would probably say Drake May. I still thought he was. I mean, last year when they came to Pittsburgh and beat the Steelers, everybody was shocked that somebody like Drake May can. Was it Drake May? Or was it somebody else? Actually, I'm sorry. I might probably take that back. But anyways, I'm surprised at the rapid development he has and the way he's kind of his decision making and also you know, putting the ball at the right places all the time and not putting in the harm way and always, you know, leading his team to the wins. I think especially keeping up pace with the Bills. We already kind of talked about that a little bit. I think, you know, I'm pleasantly surprised by Drake May's rapid development, if you will. One coach you think is going to definitely get fired, who you thought is not going to get fired before the season starts?
Who's definitely gonna get fired?
But you thought like it's not even close.
You know, I might say Pete Carroll.
Huh?
Pete Carroll, you know, I thought, you know, oh, they just hired him. They just signed him.
Yeah.
And he has all the makings of a good head coach, but you know, this year's just been so bad for the Raiders. I think they might have to move on from Pete Carroll.
Yeah. That's a hard one for me. I did not even, I just made that up question. But for me, couple of you know, coaches come to me. Obviously, you know, Brian Double, you know, he kind of dig his own grave. But DQ, Dan Quinn, and is a great coach, but his handling of, you know, their quarterback and also the way the defense is playing. And Josh Harris, I don't know how much of a, he's the owner and how much of a, patience he has with the coach and the team where they're going. Aaron Glenn or even Sean McDermott. I mean, those two are like kind of follow-ups for me as well because Sean McDermott is just completely misusing the talent he has both on offense and defense at this point. Yeah. Any other questions from you, sir? Your side, Raj?
Here you go.
Yeah. All right. Well, that's all we have. Thanks for watching. And do you want to say anything? Or all right, like, share, and subscribe. Make sure you know give us feedback. And we're going to have a special food podcast that is coming up as well, maybe this week. But keep watching. You know, give us feedback and make sure you subscribe and click that like button. Thanks.
Bye.
Enjoy the football.
Bye. Thing.